All right. Good afternoon, everyone. We've just started our Monday night Real Talk Weekly with your favorite Novak boys. Tune in now. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
You're here with Thomas Sims and Jonathan Vescio beside me. Hope you're all well. Tonight we're discussing how to sell smart, the low-cost ways to maximize your sale price.
Yeah, it's a big topic actually. I don't think it's touched on enough. I feel as though we kind of don't really talk about it enough, and how to really get the maximum amount of money for the minimum amount of spend. And I feel like a lot of vendors want to know. So we're here to kind of touch on it and on a real estate point of view and how we see it affect property prices and the best way to do it.
Yeah, we'll dive right in. We had a big week last week. It felt like a long week last week.
I thought today's been a really long day.
Yeah,
we've had a long day today.
Yeah, but we've noticed something very, very relatable today. We've listed 2 properties already, one house and a apartment, both in DY. So we've already started to see, with stocks still being low since we last came onto the show and discussed, there's already been a change happening just today alone. So we thought it'd be really good to just have this topic and discuss it and give you our personal and professional insight as agents. So we'll get started with just probably 4 or 5 steps to help you maximize your sale price if you are thinking of listing and selling your property. And we'll start with number 1. Jono, take us away.
Take it away. I think we just keep it nice, short and sweet with 5 simple steps, just nice and easy, because the majority of the time you overcomplicate it. So I feel as though we just touch on it nice and easily and just let the vendors kind of do what they want to do based on our opinion. So number 1, we've got declutter, depersonalize. So, I mean, a lot of people fall in love with their homes and they turn it into something which is a home, right? And which is fair to say that's normal to do. But when you're selling a property, people aren't buying somebody else's home, they're buying their new home. So you want to flip your property to what's called live mode into sell mode. And what that kind of means is decluttering, taking away your personal photos, that sort of stuff, little stuff like that. Decluttering the property, making it look more presentable in a way of a buyer. It's not saying that it's not presentable previously from how you were living in it. It's more so just making it more appealing to a buyer's point of view and seeing themselves living in that property and how they can personalize it for themselves. So a declutter, depersonalize, that's a number 1 step for me. And I think that really does go a long way. Yeah. It doesn't cost you anything.
Yeah, that is something free of charge. You don't need to pay someone to do that for you. That's something you can do yourself. And the overall goal is to just make the space bigger, cleaner, and more inviting to buyers. So it can be a bit personal, moving your family photos and stuff away, whether it's just into a cupboard or even renting out a storage unit as well, which we actually have across the road from our office in DY for very, very cheap prices for that particular reason as well. Or if you have the perks of family members living nearby, you could pop it over at their place as well, like mum and dad's. But the overall goal, like I said, make it feel bigger, cleaner, and more inviting. Yeah, we'll go straight into number 2. Jono, what do you got?
Deep clean. Deep clean. People don't think deep clean goes a long way. It actually really does. So a lot of people come through the property, and if you see something on the floor when you walk in, that's the first thing you see. It kind of gives a bad taste in your mouth, regardless if the rest of the property is really nice. So I think just going in, doing a nice clean, doesn't have to be amazing. It's just giving it nice, good clean that goes along with the declutter. Just keeping it nice and clean, doing a good sweep, good mop. The agents typically, we do it for a lot of our properties. We go in there. Sometimes Thomas likes to get out the leaf blower, which he's got in the boot of his car, and we go around the properties and give it a nice little clean up. So I think just a nice, good clean. And like I said, you know, sometimes people see a bit of stuff on the floor or something when they walk into the open. It's the first thing that they see, and it just leaves a bad taste. So I think really just making the property nice, presentable, nice and clean. You could, if you wanted to, you could get a cleaner, but this is, again, no cost to you. You could get a cleaner if you want to, but realistically you don't have to. They do come as cheap as probably about maybe $250 to $300 for a cleaner. We've got a really good one in our office that we use for the properties that we manage, so we can definitely refer over some cleaners if you do need.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't need to go all in. You can always just do certain spaces if you do keep your house or your apartment tidy already. Something that a lot of people tend to miss when they're cleaning, and it's really important, and Lisa Novak has read my mind and commented what I was thinking. I'll pop it up here for you. It's windows. When you go into every single room, depending on the window, it changes the buyer's mind. So if you walk into a bedroom that has the sun directly coming in, if you have a little bit of dirt on that window or something on the window, it'll be visible straight away. It'll actually draw the buyer's eyes to that one spot. So make sure if you're gonna do a little clean yourself, focus on areas like the kitchen, focus on your outdoor areas, your bathrooms, which are really important as well. But in particular, like Lisa said, your windows.
Yeah, and I think that kind of, just quickly on that, I think a lot of buyers, you know, when you're looking at a property, you're looking at the outlook from your bedroom, from your living room. I mean, if you're looking at outlook to a dirty window, it kind of puts a bad taste in your mouth once again. So I think that is definitely one of the best places you want to be cleaning. I mean, you wouldn't typically think of it, but I definitely think it's a good idea.
Yeah, exactly right. Let's jump into number 3, Jono and Lisa's. I don't know how Lisa knows what's next in our minds. We're all on the same team. I think we all think alike.
We've been with each other for 12 hours today. 12 hours straight. So I feel as though we've kind of just read each other's minds.
Yeah. Throw us into number 3, and Lisa's comment right here shown is kind of exactly what we're talking
Pretty
about.
much, yeah. So minor repairs and maintenance, that kind of stuff. So, I mean, when you're going into a property and you see a crack in the ceiling or something like that, it brings up the question of what's wrong with the property. Is there anything else that I need to look for? So it's good to kind of go through. Sometimes if you want to do, you can do carpets and floorboards, that sort of stuff, if you have the money to spend on it. But if you don't, and the reason really why we're here is to talk about it today, is to touch on the things that are going to cost you nothing or cost you very little. So sometimes just a nice coat of paint, not even the whole property, just a nice touch up of paint in areas where they need it. A good, like I said, deep clean, that sort of stuff. Little paint jobs. Garden maintenance is big. Garden maintenance is huge. So front door appeal or the street appeal. When you're looking at, you know, trim your hedges, mow the lawns, that sort of stuff. As soon as you, like I said, when you're first looking at a property, if you see something you don't like first, it typically leaves a bad taste in your mouth. So little stuff like that, when you're walking into the property, you want it to look nice and have a very inviting feel.
Yeah, and just like Lisa said here, we can assist with all trades. We have a handyman, Chris from KMC Carpentry. He is a jack of all trades. He does everything. He can patch and paint for you same day. He gets stuff done so quickly for us. We appreciate him a lot. Shout out to Chris. Probably won't be watching this, but if you are, we appreciate you a lot. And those minor things, like Jono said, just make such a difference. If you walk into a property and there's a hallway, and the first thing you see in the hallway is the wall, and it's not, you know, it doesn't have a fresh coat, or it has a couple marks or scuffs, or cracks that need to be patched and painted, it's really important to get that done before you list the property, rather than when it has been listed and you're receiving buyer feedback who are making notes on those marks. So make sure that the property, it can get a little bit of trade work done. And if you do need help, ask your agent. We often recommend it when we walk through the property before we've got photos done, before it's on realestate.com. We go through and we make our own mental notes of this. So if your agent isn't pulling things like that up and the buyers are, then you're already in a little bit of trouble with your listing.
Yep. So, and your agent should be helping you out with that for sure. Your agent should definitely be pointing those things out. Lisa does it really well, actually. She kind of goes in, takes photos of what needs to be done and sends it over to the owner. We actually went through a property today that we listed, and Lisa did a nice walkthrough video, sent it straight to the owner and let them know things that we recommend that should be done. And we do that for all of our listings. So if your agent's not, then you definitely should rethink who you're listing with, or even just have a chat with them about it.
Yeah, 100%. Let's jump into number 4 now. Out of 5, what do you got?
Kind of touched on it a little bit before, is your curbside appeal or your street appeal. So like I said before, you know, trimming the hedges if you're in a house, trimming the hedges, doing the lawns, all that sort of stuff. If you're in an apartment, it's a little bit different because you don't really have that much of a curbside appeal. It's more based on your strata. But that then comes in with, you know, when you walk into the front door, like Thomas said, the first thing you see is you want to see something inviting and something that's letting you in. You want to be nice and bright. If you can, sometimes put a lamp in the hallway. If there's a hallway leading in and it's a little bit dark, something to just brighten it up and make it feel really inviting. Because once you first walk in, the first initial feel that a buyer gets is genuinely how they're going to feel about the rest of the property. So I think that's kind of that situation there. Trim the hedges, mow the lawn, just make it really inviting for the buyer.
Yeah, and you can combine this with say getting a professional cleaning done. There's a lot of professional cleaners out there. We have contacts as well who will do things like a pressure clean, like a pressure wash of, you know, the sides of the house, of the driveway, and then also come in to the house and clean. So you can kill two birds with one stone here, and it really does make a difference, because the last thing you want to hear from buyers is that, oh, I can see the, you know, outside of the property is really dirty. Is there something wrong with it? And it just creates so much doubt in their mind already just from one inspection. And it's not what you want when you're looking to sell. You want them to feel really comfortable and safe and secure in the building without them having these doubts in the back of their mind just because something as small as a mark on the side of a wall like a house.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's a really big one, to be honest.
Yeah. All right, let's jump into number 5. Jono, what do you got?
Affordable styling. Property styling isn't 100% necessary in my opinion. I don't think that, I mean, property styling ranges anywhere between 10 to 15,000 sometimes in properties. So I don't really think that that's a really affordable way to be if you want to get your property on the market quickly. But there's alternative things you can do. I mean, in terms of property photos, which goes into our next point, but we'll touch on that a little bit later. But you can do virtual furniture, which doesn't cost much at all. It's actually quite cheap. And at least that gives the buyer a feel of what could be, rather than you having to go out of your way and actually physically style the property. I think, so Lisa's popping more comments in. That's a good one. So your property maintenance. I mean, actually, you'd be surprised how cheap carpet is to put in your property. So we do have really good contacts for that as well. We do that quite a bit. So a light carpet and a nice coat of paint throughout the property does wonders. New lights, you know, if you've got old yellow oyster lights, it's good to put a nice LED light in there or something like that just to brighten it up.
Yeah, and some incense as well. When she says nice smells.
Yeah, make it smell nice.
A little incense candle. We bring air fresheners in our open home boxes. So if you really don't want to buy an incense or you're a bit nervous lighting a candle and leaving your house, we have air fresheners for you. We have good ones too.
We do actually. And back to the styling sort of stuff. I mean, you can do styling if you really want to, and if it's really going to maximize your money. Sometimes, you know, it can make up to $100,000 on your house, right? So it's just a matter of the property and what you think is going to work best. But majority of the time, you know, you've got nice enough furniture in there. You can buy some cushions or something like that. Go to Kmart, they're quite cheap, and just style it up a little bit, neutral colors, that sort of stuff, just to make it feel a little bit more lively and homely for the buyers when they're coming in. It's more so all just about presentation and a good feel. So, I mean, if you've got those things, there's no need to go down the route of styling. If the property is vacant, then sometimes it is really good to do that, because, you know, if it's a vacant property, it's very hard to imagine putting all of your furniture in. So if you can do some styling on that, you may actually end up making yourself 50 to 100 grand on your sale price.
Yeah, absolutely. And you also need to have a little think about your floor plan, because if you style a property, you can show buyers the potential layout that they will bring into the home. But if your property has a very standard layout and floor plan, you may not need to spend that extra money. They'll know as they walk into the room where everything will go. It may be obvious. And sometimes you see listings and properties that are on the market with styled furniture in there, but it doesn't match not just the layout of the home, but the feel itself. And we've seen it quite a lot where they put all of this, you know, Cocoa Republic furniture in a nice traditional style home, and it just doesn't match. And that can actually put off a buyer and make a buyer feel a little less homely, if that makes sense. So you need to be careful if you are going to invest that sort of money into styling. It needs to be perfect.
actually happened with us in one of our other listings.
Yeah.
Another agent who was selling the property had the property styled, and in our opinion wasn't amazing. It kind of looked like a dentist waiting room in the living room. It just wasn't done well. And that property was on the market for something like 3 months, 4 months with another agent. Nothing happened. We actually went through and said, get all the furniture out. We don't like it, and put all your old furniture back in. The owner put the furniture back in, and we sold it off market in a week and a half. Yeah. So, I mean, it's sometimes, like Thomas said, you've really got to think about the property. Don't just throw styling in there thinking that it's going to work. It's got to really fit your property. And if it's an older property, an original home, putting, Dolce & Gabbana lounges in there isn't going to be it for you. So, yeah, you really got to think about what you're going to do there, especially if you're going to put the money into it.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's then go to a bonus one, which Jono mentioned a little bit, and I think we both crossed off on. It's professional photos and your floor plan. And this is really, really important. Jono's going to explain right now why.
Yeah, professional photos, I mean, majority of the time when a buyer's looking at something, they're going to look at the photos first. And if those photos aren't inviting and don't look like something that they want to attend the open to, then you've got no shot, right? So your first point of contact with the buyer is your photos and your floor plan. If you don't have a good photos floor plan, you're never going to get people through the door.
Yeah, that's modern marketing for you. That is what marketing is today. Photos, floor plan. They want to look at it on their phone, on their laptop, their computer before they make the effort to go to the house.
Yeah,
it's non-negotiable. It is crucial to your marketing and to your campaign.
Yeah,
it's a deal breaker. It must be the best.
Exactly, and it's not overly expensive for an owner majority of the time. I mean, sometimes agents are quoting quite a bit for marketing. In our case, we do things a lot differently. You probably all know. If you're watching this, we do $0 marketing. We pay for photos, floor plan, and we take that cost off the vendor. So obviously, if you don't want to pay for that, feel free to list with us. We'll definitely help you out. But no, I think that is a massive one for you. And if you are going to pay for something, that's probably what you want to pay for. Obviously, if you want to go with another agent, that's perfectly fine. And that's something that you can pay for, right? And if you're going to pay for that, you can pay for virtual furniture, style the property virtually. It looks completely real, and you wouldn't tell unless you actually walk through the property. But it makes a massive difference. So yeah, that's my take on it.
That'll be photos, your professional photography, and I mean professional, along with your floor plan. If it's done right, it will be your best return on investment. It's without a doubt the most important part. Like I said, no one is going to get up and go to your home wanting to buy it if they haven't looked at it on their phone, on their laptop, on their screen, and liked what they've seen. It's how everything sells today. It's how social media has become a huge part of selling real estate. It's all about what they see before they make the effort to go and look to buy.
Yeah, exactly. And it's in just touching on that quickly, we were actually looking at a listing together the other day of a guy who's selling his own property, which is perfectly fine. But he was taking photos with his iPhone, and it was just, you could tell it wasn't done professionally. And it's actually a really nice property and a really great spot. So, I mean, if I was a buyer looking at it, I would go, oh, I'm not too sure about it. I probably won't go to the open. Whereas if you had professional photos done, and there's a view from the balcony, that sort of stuff. If you have a professional photos done, then you would have 30 people lining up at the door. Whereas in this situation, it's a little bit difficult just because you're taking photos with your iPhone that don't look the most professional. A lot of people would just scroll straight past it and just not look at it.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. So that is our 5 plus a bonus 6 ways that you can maximize your sales price with low cost methods. That's all I have for tonight. If there's anything you guys want to ask us, if you need a trade and any sort of tradesperson, feel free to reach out to us. We have so many people who are willing to help you out, like ourselves as well. If you ever have any questions, feel free to come into our office, have a cup of coffee, have some bickies, have a glass of water and have a chat. We're always here like 8:20 on a Monday night. So that's been Real Talk Weekly with your favorite young Novak boys. We'll catch you next time with another very interesting topic. Have a good night, everyone.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.